Hey guys, it's Laura here, mom of two, holistic nutritionist, and founder of the Lavish Method, where I teach women who just want to see results a simple way of eating that doesn't involve giving up wine or chocolate or any of the other things that basically make life worth living. And today I'm here with Lucy, and we are going beyond calories in an expert interview. I'm so excited about this. We're going to be talking all about anxiety and how it can affect, weight loss and all of the areas around it. So Lucy, welcome. Thanks for being
Hi.
here. Hi. I'm so happy you're here. If you want to quickly, introduce yourself for some of the viewers who may not be familiar with you or your work, that would be great.
Perfect. Yeah, so my name is Lucy Malarkey, and I am also a registered holistic nutritionist. I work based out of Oshawa, Ontario, but also work with clients online. And my area of passion is really on mental health and nutrition.
Amazing.
So I love this area just for my own personal reasons, past experiences, but also I just feel like it's an area that's not talked about enough. We often associate nutrition when it comes to our physical health or how we look, but when we're having mental health issues, we don't typically think nutrition as something that's affecting it. So I'm excited to be talking about it.
Totally. Well, I'm excited to have you because this is not my area of expertise, but I think like everybody in my world, I suffer from anxiety for sure. I suffer from stress and, we're trained to think that that's normal, right? That being anxious and having anxiety and, being really stressed is normal. Is that normal? Like, should we be feeling this way?
To a certain extent, anxiety is good.
Yeah.
We've all experienced that butterflies in our stomach kind of feeling. So we do know that we get nervous. But the important thing is that it goes away, or
Right.
it's not there for the wrong reasons. It's when it's coming for no reason or it doesn't disappear that it becomes an issue on our health.
Okay. So I want to come back to that, but I want to switch gears for a minute. So tell me about how, anxiety and, mental health issues. And I'm not talking on a massive scale, I'm talking on a scale that people experience every single day. How does that, affect or interfere with, weight loss goals?
Yeah, so a number of reasons can come into play. Probably the biggest one for the average person who doesn't have any specific diagnoses
Yeah.
would be just lifestyle habits being interfered with. So eating habits. When we get
Okay.
stressed or have anxiety, people will tend to either skip meals because they don't feel hungry, or binge eat. So we
Totally.
know that binge eating obviously leads to eating more and tends to be more of the unhealthy choices,
Right.
which can lead to the weight gain or interfere with weight loss.
Yeah.
But not eating as well has a big factor in that too.
Yeah, totally. I can't, say how many times someone comes in to see me, and we find out the root cause of them not being able to, lose the weight is the fact that they're not eating enough because they're
Mhm.
anxious and they're afraid of eating too much because we've got these disordered feelings around food. Do you come across that a lot?
Exactly. Yeah. All the time. All the time. People think, yeah, less calories, but then it ends up being a vicious cycle because less calories tends to be less nutrients within the
Yeah.
body, which can impact anxiety even more. So it ends up being a whole circle.
Okay, so then from your point of view, from your expert modality, what is like the most critical thing when it comes to achieving actual lasting fat loss when we're dealing with something like anxiety or other mental health issues?
I think blood sugar regulation is one of the most important for sure. And then just making
Interesting.
sure that you are having good lifestyle habits as well. So if you're skipping meals, it's going to impact your blood sugar levels. It's going to impact your ability to lose the weight. Uh,
Yeah.
so making sure you're in a good routine is absolutely crucial. And then sticking to some of those lower sugared foods,
Yeah.
so that our blood sugar is not spiking all over the place.
That's fantastic. And for anybody who watches my videos, you know how much I freaking love to talk about blood sugar. It is my favorite thing.
Don't
So
we
I
all?
love that you're saying this. So how, when we're talking about, anxiety impacting our blood sugar, because it absolutely does, impacting cortisol, impacting our hormones, all of these things, how do we get it under control? What can we do so that, anxiety or mental issues aren't affecting our weight loss, so we're able to overcome it?
So one strategy I like to use with clients is, it sounds really simple, but a lot of people don't actually do it, is taking the time to actually eat when you're eating.
Yep.
So one of my rules is always make sure you're sitting at a table when you're eating. So none of this eating on the go all the time, which we like to do. We have to really make eating a priority. So many jobs, require you to work through lunch and that, but just taking some time to sit down with your phone away, and just focusing on the eating, decreases anxiety, which optimizes digestion, because as many people know, you probably talked about this with your clients before, but stress will impact our digestive system too.
Totally. We see it all the time. You probably have this too. If you have weight loss clients, I'll have a client who is doing really well and we figured out the foods and they're good. Like, it is working for them. They're losing between 1 and 3 pounds a week. Things are sweet. And then all of a sudden everything stops. Mm-hmm. And they all of a sudden are experiencing digestive issues with the same foods we've been eating for, 2 months that we know don't cause issues. And, their thought is always the food. I must be eating something wrong. And there's always like a stressful event tied into this change, right?
Absolutely.
And so do you want to elaborate on why that would happen a little bit more? Because I think it's super interesting. So why can stress cause, things that weren't an issue for us to become an issue for us?
Yeah, so as we were just talking about, one thing is for sure the digestive problems. So when we're in a stressful situation, the blood's not going to our digestive system anymore. Yeah. So we're not able to break down food like we normally would.
So what would you do in that case? How do you support your clients when stress is an issue for them and they're not digesting food well? How do you overcome it?
Yeah, so really looking at root causes is important. So we have to make sure we realize what is the stress that's causing these issues. Okay. So if it's a situational thing, we look at things that the person is able to control. Yep. In the moment in order to support that, or starting to move steps in towards supporting something in the long term. Because we know if there's something big going on in your life, you're going to be stressed out. But you have to find ways to cope with it. So if that's looking at stress reduction techniques, yep. Sometimes there's supplements that can support a more relaxed state as well. We can look at those.
So what would your top supplement be, and what would your top relaxation kind of exercise be that somebody could take away from this?
Yeah, so for relaxation techniques, lots of different options. It really depends on the person. For some people, they love yoga and meditation. And I admit, I used to be very anti-meditation. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Yep. But then after actually doing it, I was forced to do it in a challenge I was doing, and it helped so much.
Really?
So now I'm a huge advocate of that. So even if you're not a believer, give it a try and see how it goes.
Good advice.
But some people, that's not their thing. It might be taking a walk. It could be going for a run. It could be taking a bath. So it's really finding what's relaxing for you, because it might be different from person to person.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching this and, they're thinking, does this apply to me? Does it not? How do you know if anxiety is an issue for you? If what we're talking about is actually affecting them? What are the signs that they can look for?
Yeah, so as we talked about, a little bit of anxiety on a regular basis is not a bad thing. It is our body's response to stress. If it's starting to interfere with your daily life, so if you're avoiding daily activities that you normally liked, if you're not sleeping at night, or you wake up and you have those thoughts racing through your head and you can't get back to sleep, and there's no real reason to be worrying about them, that's when it tends to be a little bit more serious than just kind of the average daily stressors.
That makes sense. Okay, so what would be, so say they evaluate their life and there's definitely something more than average going on. They're experiencing anxiety. What is the number one takeaway from this interview for someone who's struggling with that and who's also trying to lose weight and trying to make it all fit together?
Yeah, I think it's important to recognize the cause of the anxiety. So there's many different contributing factors. There can be environmental toxins that can lead to feelings of anxiety. It can be just daily stressors in your life. It can be the side effects of medications as well. So it's very important to look at what's going on in your life that could be contributing to that. Because if you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know how to work with it.
That makes sense.
In terms of the weight loss component, I think it's important to just recognize that you have a lot going on. And, weight loss is more measurable than mental health, which I find is why a lot of people don't emphasize the mental health component a lot of times.
Right.
Now, you can't just look at a scale and see your progress with that. So don't devalue your mental health just because you can't measure it as much. Make sure you take the time to focus on that, just like you would be focusing on the weight loss. But just realize that it might take a little bit longer to see some of the results you want because you are dealing with multiple things at the same time. So it might not be as quick as you hope for, but over time, if you continue and not give up, you're going to see results.
That is an amazing takeaway. I love that. Like equating, not being able to measure it on the scale, because it is really frustrating when we're doing all of the right things all of the time and things just aren't working. So I think that is an amazing takeaway for everyone. Like slow down, chill out. You are making progress. And when the stuff, on the mental side is fixed, then you'll actually start seeing the results on the physical side, right?
Exactly. And I think the long-term goal for weight loss goes beyond the weight loss. So even though most people want it to feel good in, the summer when they're on the beach or something, ultimately it's the feeling you get from that you're going for. You're looking to build confidence. You're looking, for a feeling behind the weight loss. So just remember that those things don't always come with weight loss too. So they're things to focus on in themselves as well.
Amazing. This has been a fantastic interview. Thank you, Lucy. So for everybody who is watching this right now, and they're thinking that maybe anxiety is an issue, they want to get in touch with you or just learn more, how can they find you?
Yes, so you can find me either at my website, which is www.lucymalarkey.com. Yes, like full of malarkey. It's the same thing.
Love it.
But also I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well, so you can look me up there.
Perfect. And for everybody watching, I am going to have all of Lucy's info just beneath the video. We'll have her short little bio and some clickable ways you can get in touch with her. So let's wrap this up. I just want to thank all you guys out there for giving us your time and watching this. Thank you, Lucy, for being here. And
thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. This was an amazing interview. If you guys want to chat more, make sure you sign up for my brand new free webinar series happening every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can go to www.lavishnutrition.com to sign up for that. And we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye.